Alright, so, most basic of skills. You gotta know this to do anything. So, we're gonna start with right knots and left knots. Many of you may already know how to do these and know them as forward knots and backward knots. For those that don't, you take your first string. Let me move these over here. You take your first string. You put your colored string, or your background string, over your first string. And it should look like a 4. You loop the end around, pull it up. Do that a second time, and you've got yourself a forward knot, or in alpha bracelets, a right knot. Now, we got 8 strings back here. Excuse my awkwardness. We'll keep going. Note that starting bracelets can be a little bit tedious, not just because it's the same thing over and over, but because all of your strings are unruly. But that's okay, we will tame them in a minute. So anyway, like I said, we've got 8 strings, so we'll do 8 right knots. And again, just make a 4, loop it under, and do it again. Over and over and over. It's a lot more fun than I make it sound. It can honestly be a little relaxing, but you know, being on camera is never relaxing, I guess. Anyway, almost done here. Yeah, you want to make sure your tension is pretty much the same on all of your strings. Make sure to get your bass strings separated out well, because you don't want that happening. Alright, one more. And there we go. 1 row complete. It might not look like much, but regardless of what color you use, what kind of strings you use, your first couple of rows are probably going to end up looking like crap. But that's okay. They'll start looking nicer later. It takes about 4 or 5 rows before everything starts straightening out, I guess. At least on a bracelet this size. This is 8 strings long. So anyway, left knot, or a backward knot. You make a, I guess some people call them a P, or you know, like a reverse 4, or whatever. It's the same thing, just in reverse. So you loop it under. Excuse this thing, it's trying to knot on itself. Don't do that. Anyway, you just bring it up and do the same thing again. 4, or a P, backwards 4, and do it again. Again, please excuse the awkwardness of doing this. Kind of hard to do it slowly when I've gotten so used to it now. Anyway, keep doing it just like that. Not that difficult. Just a little tedious. All right. Come on. Whoops. There we go. Oh, man. Again, like I said, unruly strings when you first start. We'll tame them soon enough. Yeah, you might notice that this blue string, which would be your background string, is a little long. That would be because, whoops, alpha bracelets take a buttload of string. You may even end up needing, depending on how long your bracelet is or how wide your bracelet is, maybe a skein or more of whatever your background color is, assuming you've got a background color, that is. But most bracelets should have a background color. Alright. Almost done. There we go. And that would be the first row. Or first and second row, that is. See, kind of awkward looking, but it'll look nicer once we do a little bit more to it. Anyway, let's review 4. This would be a right knot. So again, 4 and another 4. I'm not playing golf here. Just keep going. Right, right. 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 Ugh. Everything messes up when you're on camera, doesn't it? Anyway, you kind of see the picture. You just keep going right, left, right, left, right, left. But again, that's assuming you want a single color bracelet. It gets it gets more exciting as we go on. So we'll finish up another row of right knots. We'll do another row of left knots, and I think we'll call it a day there, because I think you'll have gotten it by then. And if you haven't, well, there's always the replay button. Not that you'd want to watch me over and over. Who'd want to do that? Anyway. Almost. Yeah, you might notice is that I am knotting pretty close to the original knot on the bracelet. I've got it attached to a dog clip. You don't have to. You can honestly hold it as far down as you want. Just be comfortable. Anyway, more left knots, make a P, or a backwards 4, whatever you want to call it. Do it again, and again. You've got a left knot. So, make sure all your strings are sorted out. They like to twist sometimes. I find that certain brands of strings like to do it more than others. Another left knot, and just keep doing that. Yeah, trust me, once you have a bracelet going, it gets a lot easier. The strings become less unruly, and everything just kind of seems to fall into place. But they like to grate on your nerves when you first start, so. Alright, almost there. One last thing, you might notice that I go to the right. I do my right knots with my right hand, and I do my left knots with my left hand. That is only because that's most comfortable for me. If you're the opposite, in fact, Lisa does her right knots with her left hand and her left knots with her right hand. If you're the opposite, just do it however you feel most comfortable. If you like only doing your knots with your right hand, go for it. Only your left, go for it. Anyway, that is about it. I guess one last note I should make is that whenever you do your knots, make sure to keep your tension nice and tight on the bottom here, so that way your knots don't end up becoming puffy like this one. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and it's going to stick out like a sore thumb throughout this entire process. But that's okay, as long as you guys learn something.